My child, the blood running through your veins is ancient, you're carrying the royal blood of. Dear one, this is not a coincidence, my child. Stop for a moment. Take a breath. Can you feel it? That gentle pull in your soul? That quiet, holy ache that never truly leaves? It is not anxiety. It is not confusion. It is remembrance. Something deep within you has always known that you were different. Even when the world ignored you. Even when they mocked your dreams. Even when your silence was misunderstood and your kindness mistaken for weakness. There has always been a fire within you that refused to die. Do you know why? Because the blood running through your veins is not ordinary. You are not walking with borrowed favor. You are not existing by accident. You are walking with divine intention. You are breathing through the echo of a royal lineage. The crown upon your head is invisible to men, but heaven sees it clearly. It shines brighter when you cry. It glows stronger when you keep going, even with a broken heart. The blood in you, child, is ancient. It is older than your surname. Older than your pain. Older than the betrayal you survived. Before you were born into this body, you were chosen in the mind of God. He wrote your name in gold upon scrolls that angels still guard. And that scroll holds not just your name, but your assignment. You were born for something that cannot be explained by this world. That is why no matter how many times life tried to break you, something in you refused to stay down. It wasn't just your strength, it was your divine code. You carry the royal blood of warriors, of prophets, of those who danced in the fire and were not consumed, of those who were forgotten by men but honored in heaven. You carry the oil of David, the wisdom of Solomon, the resilience of Esther, the weeping worship of Mary Magdalene, the truth of John, the faith of Abraham. You are not the end of your bloodline, you are the bridge, the repairer, the restoration, the fulfillment of prayers spoken generations before you even arrived. And that is why the enemy fought you so hard. That is why people walked away without reason. That is why they tried to reduce your worth to your past or your pain. Because they sensed the authority you carry, even before you knew it. They feared what would happen if you ever discovered who you really are. But now heaven is revealing it to you. Now the veil is being lifted. Now the truth is rising in your spirit like a river bursting through dry land. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were not built for silence or smallness. You were crafted to reign in grace, to walk in favor, to break chains others were too afraid to name. The ones who left you didn't reject you, they rejected what they couldn't understand. The rejection was protection. Because heaven didn't want your royal identity distorted by temporary voices. This is why your soul aches when you see injustice. This is why your tears feel sacred. Because your DNA is laced with divine purpose. You are heaven's response to something broken in the earth. That is why you feel everything deeply. That is why you walk with both power and softness. You are carrying the royal blood of a chosen generation, and the crown you wear is not made of gold, but of obedience, of humility, of love that continues even when it's not returned. And heaven has taken note. Archangel Michael has stood beside you silently, writing your endurance into heaven's book. You didn't see him, but he saw you. Every time you chose peace over revenge. Every time you held your tongue. Every time you gave when you were empty. Heaven was watching. And now, the divine inheritance sealed in your blood is being activated. The next part of this message will tell you exactly why now is the moment your lineage shifts. You were not just sent to receive blessings, you were born to break generational silence and walk boldly in the royal light God placed in your soul. This story is just beginning. My child, there are threads in the spirit realm that connect you to people you've never seen and places you've never walked. When God formed you, He did not start from scratch. He reached into eternity and wove you from a legacy that refused to die. That is why your life has always felt like a mixture of burden and blessing. You were born with weight on your shoulders because you were born carrying the history of royalty and the prophecy of future glory. The blood in you remembers battles you never fought but still feel tired from. It remembers promises whispered over ancient altars. It remembers hands raised to heaven for a child who would break the cycle, and that child is you. The resistance you feel is not punishment, it is evidence. It's proof that your presence in this world matters more than you know. You are not walking alone. You walk with the prayers of ancestors. You walk with angels assigned to guard the story inside you. You walk with heaven's scrolls, slowly unfolding in your daily decisions, in your private worship, in the moments you chose light even when darkness offered you rest. The royal blood in you doesn't need a crown made by men, it already bears the fingerprints of God. It doesn't need a throne built by titles, it already rules over the shadows you refuse to bow to. That's why your steps have been so specific. That's why you never fit into shallow rooms. Because the voice of heaven inside you is too loud to live in silence. Even when you try to hide, your spirit glows with divine design. You have a warrior's heart wrapped in a gentle soul, and that paradox is not weakness, it is prophecy fulfilled. God made you both sword and oil, flame and fragrance. You are royal not because of what you have, but because of what you carry. You carry the mantle of a lineage that refused to be erased. You carry the remnants of tears cried in deserts, and yet somehow, your smile still waters others. You don't just survive, you sanctify every space you walk through. And people don't understand it. But heaven does. Archangel Michael has walked beside you more than once when you felt alone. He watched when you stood in rooms that didn't see your worth. He covered you when people tried to curse you with small words. He whispered courage into your chest when your voice broke from holding back tears. And now, the heavens are not silent anymore. Now the Spirit of God is confirming the identity you forgot in the middle of the struggle. You are not just somebody. You are the answer to a lineage that cried out to God for redemption. You are the reason why certain family chains are breaking. You are the reason why patterns are ending. You are the one with ancient blood that cannot be corrupted by temporary chaos. You are the echo of heaven in human form. Listen closely, this season will reveal secrets to you. Dreams will come that aren't just imagination, they are inheritance. You'll see places in your sleep that your bloodline remembers. You'll feel drawn to things you can't explain. That's the spirit of your royal blood reminding you, you didn't just come here to survive. You came to reign. But not in ego. Not in pride. In humility. In light. In truth. You will walk as a quiet flame in a loud world, and people will wonder how you shine without shouting. And the answer will be simple, because God placed eternity inside me. Because my ancestors prayed for me. Because angels still walk beside me. Because I am not here by accident, I am here on assignment. This message is not meant to flatter you, it is meant to awaken you. You are not late. You are right on time. The royalty in your blood is being stirred. The ancient promise is beginning to bloom. What once slept inside you is rising again. And your name, yes, your name, it is being spoken in divine places. Your name is being remembered in realms that man cannot reach. Because the royal blood in you does not bow to fear. It bows to God. And that is why you are being called higher. My child, what you feel right now, that stirring in your chest, that holy ache that won't leave you, is not confusion. It is confirmation. You've been wondering why you feel so displaced in ordinary environments. Why certain friendships break before they bloom. Why peace for you is not in the crowds but in the quiet. Why your dreams feel older than your age. It's because you're not just living your life, you're fulfilling a promise someone made before you were born. Your grandmother's tears, your ancestors' silence, their prayers in caves and closets, you carry it. Their fight didn't stop with death. It found a home in your soul. And now, heaven is making sure you do not forget who you are. You are chosen. Not because of perfection, but because of purpose. You were selected for this generation to release something sacred, a revival your bloodline waited for. This is why life could never stay normal for you. Even when you tried to settle, something inside kept rising. It is because royalty cannot shrink into spaces meant for slaves. It is because a crown cannot stay buried under compromise. You were never meant to live small, love small, or believe small. And Archangel Michael is standing near you now, not with a sword drawn in battle, but with a scroll rolled open. He is not fighting today. He is reading your name, reading your calling, reading aloud what the Spirit of God has written about you in the volumes of heaven. There are promises with your name on them. Lands your spirit will walk. People your heart will heal. Legacies your hands will restore. And none of this is imagination. It is divine inheritance, not earned by deeds, but by identity. You must understand, my child, the royal blood in you does not come from palaces of gold but from altars of fire. It is not the wealth of kings but the wisdom of prophets that pulses in your soul. You do not wear crowns made of metal. You wear the unseen crown of obedience, and every time you chose mercy over revenge, every time you prayed instead of panicking, every time you loved instead of judging, your crown grew. You don't see it yet, but angels do. That's why darkness fears you. Because you are not just a person, you are a turning point. You carry the kind of spirit that makes curses dissolve. You carry the kind of legacy that makes heaven lean in closer. Let this truth settle deep in your marrow. You are the living temple of an ancient light. You are the echo of royal courage. You are the proof that prayers do not die. You are not weak for feeling everything so deeply, it's because your spirit was born in the fire. Your sensitivity is not a flaw, it is a compass. It guides you toward people who are forgotten. It makes you a healer in a world full of wounds. And the heavens have taken note. Yes, my child, the angelic realm watches you, not with judgment, but with honor. You carry the story forward. You carry a name that angels have protected for generations. And now is your time to walk in it fully. In the next few days, something unexpected will happen. It won't be loud. But it will be holy. A message, a moment, a memory will open something deep in you. Don't run from it. Sit with it. Ask heaven what it means. Because when ancient blood moves, it doesn't come to pass through, it comes to fulfill. And your fulfillment begins now. My child, this is not just a message, it is a sacred unlocking. Heaven has waited patiently for the moment your soul would begin to remember who you are. And now, in this hour, it is happening. Something holy is awakening in you. Not a feeling, not a dream, but a memory your spirit carried before the earth even knew your name. This is why your whole life has been different. You were never just reacting to this world, you were remembering another. The royalty in your veins has nothing to do with pride or perfection. It has everything to do with divine responsibility. You were not born to follow noise. You were born to hear whispers from the throne. You were not designed to be entertained, you were chosen to be entrusted. Entrusted with presence. Entrusted with prayer. Entrusted with pain, not so you could carry it forever, but so you could learn how to transform it. God did not choose you for comfort. He chose you for consecration. That's why many have left you. That's why the love you gave was not always returned. That's why you were misunderstood. Because what lives inside you cannot be easily named, it is prophetic. It is generational. It is ancient. And now, Archangel Michael is walking through the timeline of your bloodline. Not to observe, but to overturn. He is canceling every spiritual claim made by those who misused your family's name. He is reversing spoken curses passed down through bitter mouths. He is erasing contracts written in shame and covering them with glory. And as he moves, so do you. You are rising into a moment that was prophesied long before your birth, a moment when the hidden one would be revealed, and the rejected one would be restored. You may not have a crown you can hold in your hands, but you do have a calling that carries the weight of heaven. When you speak truth in a room full of lies, that's royalty. When you lift the broken with compassion, that's royal blood. When you forgive what wounded you most, that's the mark of divine lineage. My child, this is your spiritual coronation. Not one made with gold or gowns, but one carved in obedience and fire. The angels are not looking at your appearance, they are gazing at your agreement. And you, even in pain, even in waiting, have whispered, yes, when the world expected you to quit. That's what made you royal. Not status, not followers, not fame. But a surrendered yes when it hurt most. And now that yes is echoing in heaven. The sound of your obedience has been caught in the chambers of God's breath. And He is releasing blessings that skip generations, to land in your hands. Not because you asked loud, but because you carried much. The tears you wept in secret did not dry in vain. They became oil. Oil of purpose. Oil of power. Oil of restoration. You are not just in a new chapter. You are in a new covenant. This is not a temporary breakthrough, it is a permanent birthing. And heaven will not let you miss it. You may feel unworthy. You may feel tired. But heaven is not measuring your feelings, it is measuring your faith. And your faith, though small at times, has reached the throne. That is why everything around you is shifting. That is why old patterns are falling apart. That is why people who once felt safe suddenly feel distant. Because God is now preparing the royal room where you belong, and not everyone can enter. Not everyone can go where you're going. Not everyone was meant to carry what you carry. But you were called. And now the time of awakening has arrived. The royal blood in your veins is not just sacred, it is a signal. A signal to angels that you are ready. A signal to heaven that you are aligned. A signal to earth that something divine is walking among them. You are no longer waiting for the move of God, you are becoming it. My child, there is something you need to understand today, something the heavens have whispered over your sleep, something your soul has heard but your mind couldn't yet translate. You did not just survive pain. You carried it through fire. You walked through storms with no one cheering, no one understanding, and still, you stood. That's not weakness, that's not confusion. That is royalty in disguise. Because royal blood doesn't always come wrapped in robes, sometimes, it arrives in the quiet form of resilience. While others danced for applause, you bled in silence, and yet heaven still watched every drop. Your scars have become scrolls, and God reads them with reverence. There is not a single wound on you that did not teach heaven something about human strength. That is why Archangel Michael has been circling your name. That is why, lately, things that used to shake you now fall silent. Because something deeper has taken over, a deeper knowing, a deeper memory, a deeper truth. You were never meant to live ordinary. Inside you flows something ancient, something firstborn before time was time. You are carrying not just your ancestors' blood, but their unfinished prayers. The intercession of those who wept in fields, who toiled without reward, who loved without being known, their cries have now found a voice in you. And this is why you feel the weight even when nothing is happening. This is why silence feels sacred around you. This is why you feel moments before they come. Because heaven has assigned you as the echo of a forgotten generation. You are the answer to questions they never knew how to ask. You are the arrival of something their hearts longed for but could not yet touch. You are their healing in human form. And now, something powerful is unlocking in the invisible. God is giving you access to ancient mantles, the kind that were hidden away not because you were late, but because you were the only one worthy enough to carry them now. The mantle of spiritual royalty. The mantle of divine justice. The mantle of prophetic discernment. You are not just an heir to blessings, you are an heir to burdens that build legacies. This is why your journey hasn't been easy. This is why the world tried to label you strange, overthinking, overly emotional, but heaven calls you the bridge between realms. You feel what most ignore. You carry what most fear. You see what others try to forget. And that is not a flaw. That is divine assignment. Heaven has now declared, your delay was not denial, it was divine design. Because your blessing was being guarded by angels. Your crown was being polished by unseen hands. And now, Archangel Michael has opened the gate. Not just for breakthrough, but for royal becoming. There is a place being prepared for you, not in the eyes of the crowd, but in the chambers of the King. You are not here to impress. You are here to inherit. Inherit the promises, inherit the peace, inherit the permission to rise, not as the one who begged for love, but as the one who finally receives it. Every rejection you've ever faced will now reverse itself. Every door that closed will now tremble open, not because you begged, but because you finally remembered who you are. You don't chase alignment anymore. You become alignment. You don't fight for presence, you carry presence. The throne room has already spoken your name, and now the earth must follow. Your royal bloodline is not a metaphor, it is your mission. And the mission has begun. My child, the hour has come when the heavens no longer want you to guess who you are. They are not whispering anymore, they are speaking with thunder inside your soul. You were never meant to live below your calling. You were not sent here to beg for crumbs while royalty runs in your veins. You were sent to restore what was broken, to reclaim what was stolen, to awaken what was sleeping in your name. The angels do not follow you by accident, they guard you because you carry divine currency. You walk with the invisible weight of nations. Your footsteps shake timelines, your decisions echo through generations. This is why every step you take now matters more than ever. You are not just connected to a bloodline of royalty, you are the awakening of it. You are the one who was prophesied by those before you, even if they never knew your name. Your very existence is the fulfillment of a secret promise made in silence, sealed in spirit, and released into time. That is why you have always felt like you didn't belong. You weren't born to fit in, you were born to ignite. To stir what's asleep in others. To walk into a room and shift the atmosphere without a word. Because your soul carries the frequency of truth.